Hello, 11A. Okay, so today you should have completed your presentations for 3D printing. Now, in your pairs, I want you to join another pair. So I want two of you to join another two of you. Together, you are going to present to each other. So you need to decide who's going to present the first half and who will present the second half. Or if you do one person, one slide, the second person, the third slide, the third person, and so on and so forth, okay? So you're going to be presenting to one another. What the other pair are going to do, so say if we have Shirley and Summer, and they're going to present to Kellogg and Carl. So Shirley and Summer will start, and then Shirley will do the second, and so on and so forth. So they have an equal amount of speaking. In the meantime, Kellogg and Carl are going to be completing this document. It's a assessment event 2 individual oral presentation. This is the same document that you are going to use when you do your official presentation. So if Clary, for instance, is doing her presentation for 007, she'll be standing up the front, and the rest of you will have this document in front of you. Here you will write their name and the date and the topic of that person's presentation. You are then required to assess, okay, to work out what they've done well and what they didn't do very well. So as practice, when you're doing your 3D printing, the other two will be completing this. So for instance, Kellogg and Carl, and then Kellogg and Carl will speak to Shirley and Summer and tell them, it's very difficult remembering them when I can't be in the room. Anyway, so we'll tell Shirley and Summer what they've done well and what they might have improved on. And this means Shirley and Summer, when they go away to work on their individual presentations for 007, can take that feedback on to make sure that in their final presentation that they'll be marked on, that they will do better. So it's all about practice and getting feedback. So what you'll do, complete this and then hand it to the other pair, and then the other pair will swap over and complete. So then Carl and Kellogg will present theirs, and Summer and Shirley will assess and analyse them. Keeping in mind that this presentation is actually 25% of your marks. 25%, it's a big one. So we want to do a really, really good job with it. So let's go through the requirements. So you're going to be assessing the aim of the presentation was clear. So if it's about 3D printing, for instance, hopefully they've given a bit of an introduction to tell you what it was actually about. Research was done and there was enough information of the topic. So is there clear evidence that they've completed research, and have you got a really good understanding of the subject by the end? The presentation was clearly organised. So it had an introduction and conclusion, and it was a logically organised presentation. So they didn't start at the end and then go to the middle and then go to the beginning and then back to the end again. They went in some sort of order, whether it was chronological or otherwise. The speaker showed understanding of the topic. Check that the speaker is not just reading off the PPT. This means they do not know their information. If they only refer to the PPT to give the audience a little bit more information about it, that's absolutely fine. But if they're reading off the PPT or they're reading off a piece of paper, then it means that they haven't understood the information. The presentation was loud enough. Could you hear them? Content of the presentation was interesting. So did they talk about, maybe if you're doing 3D printing, did they talk about 3D printing a lung or 3D printing a burger? The speaker made eye contact with the audience. Okay, so they made sure that they looked at you. I know it's a bit awkward when it's just the four of you sitting around, but the speaker made eye contact with the audience. Pronunciation was clear. So you could understand the words. They've clearly practiced any technical words that they needed to say. Grammar and vocabulary were adequate. So they used a correct vocabulary for the topic that they were speaking about, and their sentence structure made sense. Visual aids were used appropriately. So if they're using a PPT, was it primarily pictures or videos, or was there too much information on the PPT? Had it been copied and pasted, which is plagiarism, and therefore you're going to fail them? And finally, was the speaker able to develop a follow-up discussion? You don't need this for this one because it's just for the 3D printing, so it's just practicing your presentation skills. We'll talk a little bit more about the discussion that you need to do for the assessment at a later date in a different class, okay? So that's what you're doing. Now, there are two sections to this video. So I'm going to ask you to press pause to jump into your groups and present to each other. And once you finish presenting, I want you to come back to this video and play again, because I'm going to give you an example of a YouTuber who's actually done a similar presentation on YouTube. So please stop here. Do not play any further. I want you to jump in your groups, present, give feedback. The other group present, give feedback, and then come back to the video and press play again. So if you can please pause now. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. I hope you all did a wonderful job, and if not, that you got some really good feedback, and you can take that feedback on in preparation for your 007 assessed presentation. So now I just want to give you a quick video to see how you did. Have a look at your presentation in comparison to what this guy's done. Have you got the same information? Do you think yours is better? Is it worse? Is there information that you could have included in yours that you didn't? So just analyze and see what else you could have done to make yours better or to improve his. So I'm just going to share over to YouTube. Here we go.
3D printing technology is already changing the way we produce objects, from tools and toys to clothing and even body parts. 3D printing is part of a process known as additive manufacturing, where an object is created by adding material layer by layer. Additive manufacturing allows designers to create complex parts for machines, airplanes, and cars at a fraction of the cost and time of standard means like forging, molding, and sculpting. Now, smaller, consumer-friendly 3D printers are bringing additive manufacturing to homes and businesses. The first step in 3D printing is to create a blueprint of the object you want to print. You can use modeling software like Blender to create your own designs, or you can visit websites like Thingiverse or Shapeways to find objects other users have 3D modeled. Once you have a finished design, it's time to send it to the printer. Some printers, like the MakerBot Replicator 2, have renewable bioplastic spooled in the back of the device, almost like a string. When the printer receives the data, it pulls the material through a tube, melts it, and deposits it to the plate where it instantly cools. As you can see, the 3D object is created through layering, where the printer will add one layer of the object at a time until you have a fully formed structure. The most common material used in 3D printing is plastic, but the use of some other materials allow for the creation of some pretty amazing products beyond simple tools and toys. 3D printing food is becoming very popular, and additive manufacturing has allowed for the creation of some pretty intricate treats. In the medical world, doctors are testing biomaterials for regenerative medicine. By using a patient's cells, doctors could 3D print small body parts like ears and noses. Some surgeons have even tested 3D printed organs for transplants. Recently, giant 3D printers in China printed 10 houses in just one day and at a cost of less than $5,000 per house, proving just how cost and time-efficient 3D printing can be. For more on 3D printing, check out Mashable's latest coverage. And
okay, so have a look here. He's used some great tools. He's used videos and pictures and music in the background. He's looked at it from different perspectives, from food, medical, through to building as well. And he's talked really about all of the benefits of 3D printing, including how it is done. So I think it was a really efficient video. You probably think maybe he might have spoken a little bit quickly. Absolutely fair feedback. But yeah, have a think about your presentation that you're going to do for your assessment and what you've learned in today's class after you've done 3D printing. Thank you very much, guys, and I will see you in the next class.